Father Time takes things away from me. I'm the first one to look. At one time, I was a good athlete. I'm the worst athlete in the world now. Okay, it's just when you hit numbers, and I can tell you, I remember, when I was doing something, and I remember when I turned 45 is when injuries did not go away. I always stayed hurt from rolling or whatever I was doing, and it was like, God damn. Then when I was 50, everything hurt as far as if I sparred or did. That's when I stopped sparring, basically. So that's it. I'm done. Got tired of getting hit in the fucking face, and it started to really hurt.
You're obviously a slow learner. 50 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you? And they call me the dumb one. Really?
Yeah. Well, and okay, here's the truth, and it's true, is sparring's fun when you're making guys miss.
When you're old, you're not making a miss. You're the target. Your target.
That's the whole
target
thing.
Practice.
Dude, they're never missing. You're getting hit by everything. Okay? Because you see it coming, and by the time your body reacts, it's already hit you, and the second one's coming. And it's like, it's just, you cannot maintain it. And Fedor is, a guy that lived off of speed and explosiveness, and Father Time takes it away. I looked at this fight going in, and you and I talked about it, and I gave Fedor very little chance of winning. I thought if he's going to win, it's going to be a blitz in the first minute, maybe minute 30, and that's, if it goes past that, that ain't going to happen. And you gave him as much as, well, he can make it to the end of the round, and maybe after a minute's rest, he'll have 30 to 45 seconds of that blitz again. Look, Ryan Bader is, as a heavyweight, I've said it many times, and I've said it to Ryan Bader. You've been there. I said, dude, you need to stay at heavyweight. You are a much better fighter at heavyweight than you are at light heavyweight. And he is, and he showed it. But he showed it against a guy that he should have beaten, and he did beat him. The one thing that I want to say out of all this, look, that whole thing was set up as that farewell to Fedor, and that's great. He deserves it. You have got to, if you didn't like Ryan Bader before, if you don't like him now, you're an idiot. Because, man, I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy who handled being the villain as the champion. He handled being the villain in this. He handled everything as far as, all the media and everything. And he handled it with such class. He stood there, applauding Fedor the whole time, talking Fedor up and how special he was. He showed what kind of person he is that you and I both know. He's a special dude, and he's absolutely got a heart of gold. And, he just showed what kind of classy athlete he is.
John, you brought up, when you were sparring at 50 years old and everything hurt, and here he is at 46 still in there doing it, was fighting for
the
best
title. Guys out there
fighting for a title. And
crazy.
I know it didn't go his way, but you had brought up like, when I was when I hit 40, like, I'm not an athlete anymore. And I'm like, there's things in life, right, that pre-40 I used to stand on top of a chair to like reach things, but now I get up on a chair and I like start looking down going, fuck, I could fall and break a hip. Like, it's anything after 40, it's the way you get down out of a chair. And when you're 40 years old, when you're under 40, you would jump down. Over 40, one hand on the wall, one hand on the chair, and then you step down one leg at a time. Things just change. I was cleaning out my gutters last summer at the house, and I'm cleaning it out, and I'm thinking, I felt like off balance, like I was going to fall off the roof at any moment, any time. I remember rollerblading back in like the 80s on top of the high school gym roof and jumping from building to building. Now I'm afraid just to walk on the roof because it feels like I'm going to fall. The stability is not the same. Your body just doesn't react.
No.
The things, your depth perception is not the same. All of these, look at, I'm wearing fucking glasses now. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things change and they make a huge difference. And to be competing at a high level, say what you want. I mean, he just knocked out Tim Johnson, but the fight before this, and he's had finishes in all of his fights up until since he lost to Ryan Bader the first time. So, and he's finished everyone after that, and then he's come in, and now he's got a loss, and he walked off into the sunset. Maybe not the way that he was hoping, but It was there. Yeah.
Let's be honest, and it's part of the sport of MMA and boxing, combat sports. Look, fairy tale endings are just not part of our sports. Let's just be honest. It's, and I don't care who it is. You take a look at all of the guys, all of them that were standing inside of that cage last night for Fedor, and you had some incredible fighters in there. Okay, let's take a look at that. All right. Dan Henderson, his last fight, what happened? Lost. Mark Coleman, lost. Randy Couture, lost. Frank Shamrock, lost. Matt Hughes, lost. Josh Barnett, lost.
Chuck Liddell,
lost. Chael Sonnen, lost. Rampage Jackson, lost.
Hoist lost.
You just look and you go,
no, Hoist was his last one?
No, his last one he didn't lose, so that's why I didn't pick him out.
He fought Ken, right?
Huh?
Didn't he fight Ken? Yeah, he won. That's right.
He won. Yeah. But I mean, it's not the norm to, go out as, the guy that, I go out on a win. Fighting, when a guy wins, he just thinks he can do it again too. And man, it's a harsh reality, and it's a mean mistress as far as the way, it goes, but it usually doesn't end with, the pretty picture. But that's a pretty good picture.
That's a great
right there.
picture right there. That's a great picture. And there was a ton of other fighters that were there, but these are the ones that were able to come up into the cage.
Yep.
Just it's honestly, like I said last night on the broadcast, he brought something to the sport when we needed him the most. We needed somebody to represent the sport in class, with class, I should say. And that's exactly what he did. He brought humbleness, dynamic fights, though, that went along with his humbleness, and explosive submissions, explosive knockouts, fast twitch muscles, left himself out of position. He was also not invincible, and I was listening to
unbelievable
comebacks. Like, that's exactly what it was. I was listening to Luke Thomas and BC, and they brought up a good point. It wasn't like he was invincible. No, he took some damage.
100% agree. Okay.